Right, I've started the tear down. Get to the turbo so I can get the bigger one on. You can see how big the rad is. It's massive. It's an Escort RS turbo rad, which I modified to fit. As you can see, it only just fits in the front of the Nova, but it certainly isn't going to get hot anytime soon, so that's good. I've already pulled the intercooler off, so get the rad out. You'll be able to see the turbo. I'll start mocking things up. That's the rad out. Give you a look of just how tightly packed in it is in here. There's very little room for anything. I had to move the alternator over about half an inch to make space for the exhaust, so it runs on the outer pulley instead of the inner one, which is fine, it works. Custom made piping, which I did just because it's got such a tight area to go through down here. Pipes clearance for the temp sensor in the rad. It's all very tightly packed in, so it's going to be even tighter once I get the bigger turbo in there, but hopefully it should fit in there basically in the same position. It's not much bigger than this one, but it is bigger, so the exhaust might have to get remade, but hopefully not. So that's the turbo off. Turbo manifold. Comes out pretty easy. There's actually a fair bit of movement in this. A bit of up and down movement. It's hard to see. See if we can get it there. A bit of side to side. There's also a bit of in and out movement on it, which is not good. Considering I rebuilt it, but never mind, it's coming off now, so let's go get the other turbo sorted out. I think it's a variety of turbos that we've got. That's the one that's just come off. This is probably going to be the exhaust side that I'm going to use. This one I've modified previously. I did a T25 flange on it instead of the standard triangle. So this is a GT20 52V. Funny enough, off that, or off one of those. And then I've got this one. This is a GT22 56V. So compressor side off this one onto that one. Hybrid. I've got this old manifold which I had on my Astra, so I've already cut the flange off, so I need to weld another T25 flange on there. I need to mock up where the turbo's got to go first, so I'm going to do that now. There you go, that's basically it in place, that's where it's going to go. I want to use the standard oil feed because it just makes it a lot easier. As you can see, that puts it exactly where that flanger was cut off before, and it is incredibly tight behind here on the coolant pipe on the side, but I can pull the turbo away a little bit from there just to make it a bit clearance. So that's not an issue. The main issue is no room for an exhaust. There's absolutely no room at all, so not entirely sure what I'm going to do with that bit yet. Right, before I get too carried away with what I'm doing here, I've got to modify this compressor housing back plate to accept the bigger wheel, because that's, let me just take this off. Let's put that on there. So this is 4mm bigger diameter than the standard one. So you can see the standard one fits in that little, sits in the little recess. So I've got to machine this housing out so that will sit in the recess as well. I've already machined the back side of it. I had to machine this down a couple of mil to make it the same as the other one. Just put those both on there. You can see that both sit at the same level. So yeah, that was slightly taller on this one, so I've already machined that down. Yeah, that's basically it. So once I've machined that down, I'm going to rebuild this. I've got bearings and stuff, all new bearings and stuff and seals to put in it, so that'll go back on there. The bigger wheel will go in place, and then the standard housing off the GT, no, it's GT20, not a 22, GT20 56VL will just plop straight on. All bolts on normally, not a problem. So yeah, I'll get that done. There we go, I've done the machining on the backing plate for the compressor housing. So that's on there now. Got it pretty tight. You don't want to have it too tight because you need a bit of wiggle movement. But yeah, that's on now. Just drop the cover on. Let's try that. Oh, looks like we might have a slight issue here. It's locked up a bit. There we go, that's done now. Just had to machine a bit more off the back of the compressor wheel. It's in there fine now, spinning, no issues. That's with the plates, all the covers all the way down. That's it, that should be good to go. Right, the turbo cartridge is finished. Got new bearings in it and rebuild kit. It's all in there. Now, this is my solution for lack of space of the exhaust. Haha! Don't need that bit. The idea is, I mean, this is the outlet for the exhaust. So the idea is just to weld probably something like that in there, and that's going to become the exhaust. Looks a bit silly, but if it works, it works. There we go, that sorts out the issue of space for the exhaust. Got plenty in there now. So I'll just weld an elbow into there. That should work fine. Right, there we go. The T25 flange turned up today, so I thought I might as well get this splatted on. As you can see, it fits exactly the same place as the other one. Got plenty of clearance around the back with the coolant pipe. It mounts up exactly where the hole in the manifold is, so I've just tacked that on there for now. I've welded studs into the flange just to make it easier. No point having it nut and bolt because you can't get to the other side of the holes. But yeah, that's it. It's pretty easy. Just got to unbolt it again now and fully weld that up. give it some beans with the welder, and job's good. So I've got plenty of room here for an exhaust to go through now. I've chopped all that crap off the back of the turbo. Should be good. And there it is, all ready to go back on. To cut a bracket off that was here to make clearance for the oil drain. I welded on a V-band to this side, so I've got something to join the exhaust to. Let's get it on. There we go, it's on, it's running. Noisy. There we go, got the exhaust done. Managed to use the old downpipe, just cut the flange off, trimmed up a bit. I welded the new V-band on, fits mint. Got the wastegate on, wastegate actuator on, it's all plumbed up. A little bit of adjustment on that to make that fit. Sorted the alternator bracket out because I needed a bit more adjustment on that to make the belt tight, so that's done. So just gotta get the rad on and put the front end on, and it's all good to go. Right, I've had the new turbo on here for about a week or so now. It's a lot better than the old one. The old one, anything over 16 psi boost, it would just restrict like mad. You can literally feel it holding back. So this hasn't done that at all. I've got a big boy actuator on it, which is 23 psi. So that's what it's running at the minute. Gets to 23 psi, no problem, really quick. Only problem I've got now is a lack of fuel. The standard injectors for this engine, this engine's only rated at 70 horsepower, so there's not a lot of flow for these injectors. So I've got some new nozzles coming, which hopefully is going to give me twice as much fuel. But I thought I'd just do a little driving video just on the way to my favourite place in the world, which is Seaton Scrapyard. So yeah, I just thought I'd do a little driving video. I've got my GFB boost controller down here, so I'm going to try and get that in the picture. Try and find somewhere to put my phone. But yeah, let's go for a little rip.